All right, everybody. I know I already kind of made a video earlier today talking about this, but we've gotten some new information and it's pretty darn significant. So I'm going to go ahead and make a follow-up video to the Colts quarterback conversation. And we'll push the Pro Football Focus defense video to tomorrow morning. So if you were waiting for that, it'll go up probably late tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, we got to talk about this real quick because things have changed very quickly. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here and say, well, this is definitely going to be what happens on Sunday. But per Adam Schefter earlier today, not only is Daniel Jones now out for the rest of the season with his torn Achilles, and not only is Anthony Richardson still on IR, but now Riley Leonard may not be available for this upcoming game. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. So yeah, apparently I didn't know about this yesterday or earlier today, but Riley Leonard had a knee injury during that Jaguars game, and it is significant enough to where the Colts don't know if he's going to be available. So that is your first string, your second string, and your third string quarterback all either out or in serious question. And while we don't have enough information to say for sure, it sure does sound like that this knee injury it has a real chance of keeping him out for this game. So we've seen some pretty lackluster quarterbacks this year play against Seattle. We've seen some backups and backups to backups, but this would be a new low point. This would be a new extreme in the Seattle bad quarterback games. So, according to Shane Steichen from Mike Chappelle here on X, if Riley Leonard is out, the quarterback is going to be Brett Rypien. Brett Rypien would start the game at Seattle, according to Steichen. They will definitely sign another quarterback if Riley Leonard cannot go. Who that quarterback is, I don't know how much it matters because I don't think you're going to sign a quarterback and then start him on the road against Seattle literally 4 days later. The one exception might be Joe Flacco. There's a rumor that Joe Flacco is asked to be released from the Bengals because they don't need him anymore because they have Joe Burrow back. And if Flacco gets released, then the Colts could probably pick him up and maybe plug and play him. Obviously, it wouldn't be good. You wouldn't be thrilled about it, but you could theoretically just say, well, he it's not like he needs to be super familiar with the offense. He's a veteran. He knows what he's doing, and he's still going to be better than Brett Rypien. So I would understand that. Honestly, even if Riley Leonard can play, you might be better off just signing Joe Flacco and playing him. So that's on the table. So worth considering. Also, you have Tyler Warren, the rookie tight end from Penn State. He lined up under center a little bit while he was at Penn State. Don't be surprised if Tyler Warren ends up getting some snaps under center. Maybe he won't be throwing the ball, but he'll be doing some stuff as a kind of like a like a Tim Tebow type option as a quarterback with some of the running and some of the trick plays he can do. So that's your emergency quarterback. Maybe you see some wildcat with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, whatever it is, it's going to be pretty tough. NFL teams are not meant to get down to their fourth string quarterback. Now, I will say this. Brett Rypien has actually played in the NFL before. He's actually started games before. He's thrown touchdowns in the NFL before. He's actually even had good games before. Honestly, I think you could make a semi-compelling argument that Brett Rypien is a more credible NFL quarterback than Riley Leonard. I would probably rather play Leonard because there's at least a little bit of unknown upside there. And I do think his mobility and his ability to run with power adds a wrinkle that might be more valuable than Rypien being a slightly better quarterback. But by that same token, Rypien with his NFL experience and his slightly more advanced ability to run a real offense is probably, or at least I should say, credibly better. You can make a very credible argument that this is actually a somewhat legitimate backup quarterback in this league. You can see that he has started a few games in his career. Back in 2022, he was Russell Wilson's backup quarterback in Denver. And not that it was a high bar to clear, but unironically, he looked better than Russell Wilson in 2022. Like, unironically, he played a really good game against the Cardinals after Russ got concussed in a start, leading the Broncos to a very rare win that season. He played kind of sort of manageably against the Jets earlier that year as well. Excuse me. But yeah, there's at least a little bit of credibility here with Rypien. He is an NFL quarterback. He's a bad one, but you can't say he's completely overwhelmed and completely incapable. By the way, he actually also played a little bit for the Rams 2 years ago when Stafford got hurt. He played a little bit at the tail end of a blowout, and then he actually started a game for them. Now, didn't play particularly well. Things didn't go well for the Rams in either game, but there was a little bit of gas there. It was at the very least a credible game and a credible performance. And I don't know. It would not shock me if Rypien goes out there and plays better than Riley Leonard would have. Now, of course, I don't expect him to play well. I don't expect him to be good. Going on the road to one of the best defenses in football, with a very, very limited amount of time to even get ready. Remember, if a guy like Brett Rypien, or this also goes for Riley Leonard as well, those guys play, they're not very familiar with the starters on their team, right? They work with the backups. They work with the practice squad. They work with the third string. They do not have a lot of experience throwing the ball to the number one targets because there are limited practice reps in this league. So things are getting very, very untenable for the Indianapolis Colts at the quarterback position. Might not be Leonard after all. Brett Rypien on the table. Keep an eye on Joe Flacco this week and expect to see some non-quarterbacks take quarterback snaps. By the way, while we're here, Charvarius Ward, the Colts' top cornerback because Sauce Gardner is out, is in concussion protocol for the third time this year now. So the hits just keep on coming. The odds of Ward playing in this game are very low, so we are probably looking at a Colts team that will be down to their, well, down beyond their number one and number two cornerbacks. And they're going up against JSN, so you do the math on that. All right, I'm going to get out of here. Let me know what you guys think. Go Hawks. Peace, and everyone have a good day.